Hello and welcome to Conscious Educators. My name is winter-simat, and over these next 3 videos, I'm going to pull apart and examine this bigger vision of education that I cast in the introduction video. This vision of education as whole, healthy human development towards more integrated ways of being in the context of a thriving, more than human world. So in this video, I'm going to look at that first part, whole, healthy human development. We'll look at what does this really mean and how does education actually address this. So I think we can pull apart whole, healthy human development into actually 2 parts. First, we'll look at what it means to be a whole human and educate whole humans. And then we'll also look at, secondly, healthy development. What does that look like? So what does it mean to become a whole human? What does it mean to educate whole humans? Well, historically, in all of the wisdom traditions, people were made of these triads, the great chain of being, or the big 3, mind, body, and spirit, or mind, body, and soul. In Steiner education, talking about head, heart, and hands. In the Enneagram, there's the 3 triads, the head, the heart, and the gut. So I think when we talk about whole humans, we need to be working in the realm that is not just the objective material science view of the world. In that view, everything is just matter and just material. There is no realm of consciousness or spirituality or beauty. Everything is just matter. At some point in complexity, third person pops up and consciousness emerges. I believe that that is a waning paradigm and understanding of the world. Most people today, in particular educators, are aware that we are not educating simply minds that absorb skills and knowledge. That's a part of the old story. But we're educating whole, unique individuals with all kinds of amazing, authentic individual selves that are emerging and growing, and to treat them as all the same as just material objects that just absorb knowledge or skills is doing humanity a disservice. Now, in integral theory, we talk about reintegrating the exteriors and interiors of humans. And I think that this is a great framework to use because the exteriors talk about that objective science view of the world, of mind, of objective knowledge, of objects that we can manipulate, that materialistic and objective reductionistic world. And that's okay. We can work within that realm as well, those exteriors. But then there's also the realm of interiors, the realm of consciousness, of experience, of spirituality, of community, of relationships, of society. These are not separate realities. These are not in competition with one another. In the old story, one had to be ultimately true and the other one was just an epiphenomenon of it. In the material science view, material reality is primary and any kind of experience is just an epiphenomenon of brain chemistry. Most of us realize that is not a good explanation of the world. So understanding that whole humans are both exteriors and interiors, and those aren't separate, but those are actually integrated together. So in education, we need to be teaching whole humans that are both biology and consciousness and spirituality at the same time, and that we don't teach in ways that are separate, but in every class or topic or discipline, that we're bringing those together, that we're bringing them in an integrated way. One of the things that would help us really understand individuals as whole humans would be the theory of multiple intelligences. Historically, we've sort of taught and educated people towards just 2 or 3 of these intelligences. But there's a number of them, and some are rarely given any time in education or any focus. So acknowledging these multiple intelligences and that different students are going to have different combinations and unique strengths in different ways really helps us to understand the uniqueness of each human being or human becoming. Another framework would be helpful is Jungian archetypes and also personality types. Any personality type system in particular that is developmental, that allows for growth and transformation, such as the Enneagram that I recommend. So there's these different frameworks and ways of understanding whole humans that will really help us as educators to see the individual and see who they're becoming and the uniqueness of their authentic self that's blossoming, and to be able to educate in a way that honors that. The second part of that statement was healthy development. So if we can take these whole unique selves that are becoming and also see that they go through developmental stages or waves of development, this can be really helpful. Integral theory, spiral dynamics, Bill Plotkin's ecocentric development, developmental psychology, these are all great frameworks for helping us understand these shifts in consciousness, this transformation that is happening in a pattern that's unfolding, so that whole humans actually going through these developmental changes and patterns, often through a spiral or a cycle. There's a few themes, I think, that arise in looking at healthy development. First of all, is that it's a continual process. There's no end point. No one has reached full maturity. No one has reached full integration. And no one is completely right and no one is completely wrong. That we're expanding and developing and hopefully integrating as we go. Realizing that this is continual, that any refusal to growth is actually a sign of pathology. So as educators, we need to be quite conscious that we ourselves need to be engaged in our own continued development as well. None of us have reached the end point of maturity. The second theme in healthy development would be that development usually happens in a transcend and include pattern. So as a new way of thinking or being starts to come online, we transcend, but we also include the former. We include it in appropriate ways. We don't take everything with us, but the things that we've really grasped, the great things and conclusions we've come to, our understanding of the world, those deep things, they come with us and are included in an appropriate, transcendent and bigger paradigm. Now, at each stage or wave of development, we need to recognize that there's levels or a sliding scale of health and pathology, so that just moving into the next stage isn't enough. We need to actually help young people achieve a level of health at that developmental stage. So helping whole humans in healthy development isn't just about moving to the next stage of development, but a process of helping them really engage in that stage in the healthiest version it can be, and then helping them move on to the next stage or the next wave of development. I think both are really important. A third theme is intellectual humility. And I've covered this a little bit in that recognizing that no one has the full reality. No one is seeing the full picture. We all have something more to learn. We all have something to learn from each other, which leads to the last theme, is that this authentic learning and becoming, this healthy development, happens in community, it happens with others. Not as just a teacher teaching a class, but in a sense of collaborating with each other, a space of creativity and critical dialogue, but a place that's safe, where we challenge and encourage, but it's in a space of other-orientedness and love and safety and belonging. This community learning is crucial for healthy development. And I think that it can't just be a single age group, it has to be multi-generational, and people from diverse backgrounds and understandings of the world and ways of being in the world. So in education, I think that if we can bring together this bigger understanding of whole humans and this understanding of healthy developmental stages and health and pathology on either side of each stage, that we can then start to engage in this more integrated approach to education, a truly transformative education paradigm. And then as educators, we become facilitators, collaborators, guides in this process, in our own process, and helping guide others through their process too. Thanks for joining me. In the next video, we'll be looking at the next phrase, more integrated ways of being. See you next time.